Goddamn. Goddamn. Da-na-na-na-na. Holy shit. Can you believe it's almost been a goddamn year since we started this podcast?
I realized that earlier today and I was like, holy shit. I feel like, how is it a year? But also at the same time, I'm like, how is it not 10?
Right? Like, I think it was around this time last year that we were in Joshua Tree. Maybe a little bit earlier. It was June. Oh, really? Oh, that's right. That's right. It took us a couple of months before we got it off the ground.
Well, because I remember being like, who the fuck goes to Joshua Tree in June?
That's true.
We do.
Yes. We do.
But yeah.
It's kind of wild when you think about it. Like, this has been a pretty insane journey. Like, 1 year of growing the podcast, creating content, learning how to fucking edit audio and video.
I can't say I've done that yet. So sorry. Thinking about it.
It's okay. You know, I've been taking this all as like a learning experience. It has been fun. It has also been wild. It's so crazy to kind of see our growth. Like, if you listen to our first ever episode, like how shitty the audio quality was versus
I was so
now.
drunk. Not even the audio quality, my speaking quality. Like, I just remember I was so drunk. I think I had like a bottle and a half of wine that day because I was just like shitting myself. We were also, you know, I'm the vanilla prude, and we were talking about like sex. And I was just like, oh my God, what if my mom hears this? Oh my God, what if my grandma hears this? She did. Remember that happened.
Our worst fears have already happened.
Yeah.
Guys.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was just like, yeah, well, please, like, sometimes when I tell people the podcast, I'm like, you maybe want to skip over the first couple of episodes because I was real fucking weird. Like, I'm awkward, and I was real fucking awkward in the first episode. So,
but you know what though? I think it's like a good like audio medium showcasing our growth and progress on this podcast.
Yeah.
And I think it's actually kind of a beautiful thing to see. So I don't mind people listening to the earlier episodes because it's like, oh, wow, like, look at how much they've improved. Like, you can't be good at something unless you consistently do it over a period of time. Right. Okay. And also, you know what? Like, I think it's a good time for us to like thank our listeners, our fans, the people who support us, our day ones, but also I think like are like, you know, people who are listening to us now. Like, if it wasn't for them, I don't know if we would have had like the motivation or the willpower to keep this going because it's work. It's a lot of work.
I think it's work and I don't do any of the work. So this is very much like an Alex and Sophia situation. And admittedly, I'm the fucking Sophia here. So it's a lot of work. Thank you. This is my opportunity to thank you. I'm also going to thank the trolls because it makes for a very interesting, just like pillow talk with Mark, where he's like, how do you stay so strong when people like tell you that you're like stupid and you're the reason why women shouldn't be allowed to vote and shit like that. And I'm just like, it actually empowers me to be even like more rowdy because I'm just like, I love it. I think it's so funny, but no, really, I do love you and you've made this what it is. And I mean, a year later, 78 episodes later, 78 motherfuckers. That's more than one a week. Like, whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm bad at math. It's about 1.5 a week, right?
Yeah. This has been our baby. You know what I mean? Like, we've done a pretty good job of nurturing her. And, you know, it's been a wild ride, I think, for season 1. Like, this is. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. So, okay. Almost a year. Sorry, really quickly. Almost a year. 78 episodes, a name change and rebrand.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
Like you fucking logged in from Egypt.
Yeah.
I recorded a lot of places, but I recorded while I was like deathly ill with COVID. Oh my God. Like that all happened this year.
Yeah. And we also had like in studio recordings for the first time. We got to feel all professional and shit, which was really cool. We also had like our first like guests, like guests on the show. It's like, I'm actually really proud of us. I think we've made something, you know what I mean? We've created something. And I'm really excited to see where else this takes us. But I think this is a good point at which to inform our listeners that we've had a bomb ass first season, all thanks to you all. But we're going to be taking I want to say like a 2-month/8-week hiatus.
8 weeks. It sounds better.
8 weeks, 8-week hiatus. But we plan to come back stronger and better with better content. We were actually just strategizing earlier and geeking out, in our corporate way, talking about, we'll do like a little strategy workshop and like, then we're going to get like a whiteboard and like talk about what we're going to do. You know, I think it's a good time for us to take a little break, do some reflection work, figure out like how we want to continue to develop and raise and nurture our little baby, so that, you know, we can be better for you all. And so this will be our last episode before the start of our second season, y'all.
Yes. So the plan as of right now is to rejoin the virtual or digital world. What did we say? Around October 15th. So just about 2 months to the day. You know, I'm going to go get some R&R in New York as well as Greece and Turkey. Super, super pumped about that. And I'm also going to finally make a trip up to the Bay Area to see Maddie. I'm ordering the whiteboard to her house. So I'm like, that's it. I'm locked in. I can't not go. I'm going to face some demons in San Francisco, because we know how I feel about that fucking city and how cold it is. And yeah, I'm super excited to, you know, A, good to see you, but B, maybe by next season I'll come back and I won't be such a raging bitch, because I won't be, you know, just so.
Will people still listen to us if you're not a raging bitch though?
No, probably not. No, but I'm really, really excited. And again, just, you know, thank you. I want to thank you for literally being the heart and the mastermind. You're the brain behind all of this. So,
I want to thank you for, like, you know, taking me on this journey, being like, out of everyone you could have started a podcast with, you were like, Mads, I want to start this podcast with you. I was like, are you fucking sure? Are you a little drunky poo after a little bottle of wine? I'm going to make sure with you in the morning.
Just one.
One.
Definitely not just one, but no. Okay. This is not on brand. We got to stop being emotional and shit. I'm not into it. But no, really, I do love you.
That's more on brand.
Guys, we're coming back. I will maybe have like slept and taken some time.
Exactly. Sleep,
Maddie will also do the same. We're going to whiteboard. Maybe we'll like take a snapshot and like post about it. Just so that you all know it's really happening. We will be continuing to work on the podcast, but again, we want to make sure that we come back stronger than ever and super pumped. So,
So if y'all also have any feedback for us, please reach out to us on Instagram or TikTok or Twitter, DM us. We're here for it. You know, we want to hear from you all in regards to what you guys would like to see in the next season. But with that, I think it's time for us to get into our last ever episode of BBQs for season 1.
Oh my God. I was like, is she going to say for season 1? I was freaking out. I was like, don't say that. That sounds so weird.
No, it's for season 1, our last ever BBQ episode. Come on.
I feel like I now know how they felt on the set of like Friends when they were like, and cut like the last episode ever. And I'm like, oh my God, I get it.
The emotions.
I get it. I get why they cry and shit now. Okay. So Maddie, do you want to, for the last time for season 1, share with our listeners what the fuck our BBQs are?
Yes. So for our listeners, our OGs and new, BBQs are what we call our basic bitch quickies. And it's essentially where we do a lightning round of top headlines from the week, you know, whether it's like quick overviews of up-to-date shows, reality TV. You all know we are a Real Housewives franchise lovers on this show. And just, you know, whether it's TikTok trends like vabbing, as we did a few weeks ago to the dismay of Alina, and everything else. And we basically just give our quick top of mind thoughts. And so we've pulled quite a few for you all since, you know, it is our last episode of the first season. And I think we're ready to get into it. Alina, are you ready?
I am ready. Let's fucking do it.
Okay. So the first one is actually pretty sad. And it is around Anne Heche and her brain injury and how she's most likely not going to survive. She's officially brain dead. I don't know if they've pulled the, I was gonna say pulled the trigger, but that's pretty grim. Pulled the plug, which is also pretty grim. She's not expected to survive, but also I think it's really interesting that people aren't talking about the accident itself. And for context for our listeners, Anne Heche, well-known actress, for those who don't know, her role that I loved the most was when she was that doctor in Volcano with Tommy Lee Jones. She dated Ellen DeGeneres, and I think that's kind of where she became mainly popular in pop culture. Essentially, she drove her Mini Cooper into a house in Los Angeles, destroying the home. Luckily, the person who owned said home was safe, made it out alive, but basically the home was rendered useless. The car went up in flames, and according to the LA Police Department, Anne Heche was high on cocaine and potentially fentanyl. Fentanyl. Oh my God.
You know me, I know my street drugs real well. Fentanyl.
For the prude of the group. Interesting, Alina. And so, she's been pretty much on a ventilator and in pretty much in a coma since the crash. And yeah, we're here now. I don't think that they've pulled the plug though, from what I could see from articles leading up to today.
They were doing it today. They made the decision. So I believe that it came out about 3 days ago that she was, in fact, her brain injuries were so severe that she was not expected to survive.
Yeah.
And so they were following out on her, I guess, wishes to donate her organs. And so today.
Can you though, considering that she was like high on those drugs?
Yes. So they spent the last couple of days identifying recipients for her organs. And so that's why they kept her on life support. But I don't know if they've done it, but I know that today they were going to be taking her off life support and then harvesting her organs for donation. So to your point, I don't know that much about Anne Heche. I feel like the one movie that I've seen her in was with Ashton Kutcher. It's called Spread.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen it. I feel like you would like it.
I have.
It's okay. You have not. So it's basically about this, I guess she was like middle-aged at the time, this middle-aged woman who I think she was like a lawyer. She's very successful, living in LA in the hills in this beautiful house. She picks up this younger guy, Ashton Kutcher, and he's like a model and he's very clearly like homeless and kind of mooching off of her. And he basically makes himself at home, like doesn't leave. So it's just about like that dynamic, I guess, where it's like a sugar mama and like, does she know that he's like fucking his girlfriend in her bed while she's not home? Anyway, good movie. But besides, so I don't really have that much like allegiance or opinions about Anne Heche in general.
Yeah.
But the thing,
I also think she's like out of our generation. You know what I mean?
A little bit, yeah.
I feel like our moms would know Anne Heche more so than we would.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. But the thing that, to your point, that kind of surprised me is, I mean, it's obviously tragic, right? That's very sad that she did not survive. But the thing that kind of shocked me is, again, it was all about, I don't know, I feel like we kind of glossed over why she was in a coma.
It's like, like I thought that was the insane part, because it's like, unless you do some digging, right? Like, it's not the first thing that you read in the articles. It's really about like her being in a coma, not like, oh, she was high on cocaine and fentanyl and, she crashed into someone's fucking house and they can't live in that house and they have a GoFundMe page now because like they need to figure out what they're going to do for their living situation.
Well, they're going to have a homeowner's insurance policy that's going to like come in and her estate will probably pay them out. They'll be okay. Hopefully, so the GoFundMe, I have a lot of feelings about GoFundMes in general, but that's obviously terrible and I feel for them. But thank God they made it out alive, right? But the thing I've noticed that a lot of the articles are focusing very heavily on like her humanitarian work, that she was like, always standing up for, gay rights or whatever it is. But I was shocked that to your point, I feel like I saw one mention of it when it first came out that she was under the influence, heavily under the influence. And then after that, it was like nowhere to be found. And by the way, I also saw that she crashed into, I think it was like 6 other cars. And then like that was the final crash, was hitting into the house. So this was not just like, oh, she lost control of the vehicle or whatever it was. Like she was on one, and it's just
wild
shocking
to me. Like, I think of like other celebrities who've died due to like tragedies and they've gone way before their time. Like the first thing that pops up to mind is like Paul Walker, right? Like how he died in a car crash, and like how that was really heartbreaking because he was in his youth. He was an up and coming actor, really successful so far through the Fast and Furious franchise, but was also starting to branch out. And he left behind his daughter who was really young, and it was really, really heartbreaking, right? He was slightly in the wrong because he was like speeding.
I think it was like drag racing. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if it was drag racing, but I do know that he was speeding with the car that he was driving. I think, this could be the case with a lot of celebrity deaths, but maybe not so much. But I find it so fascinating that in this case in particular, we're completely glossing over the fact that like she was at fault. I mean,
yeah.
Like, I'm going to say something real fucked up. Like, is it really a tragedy if she was the one, was at fault?
I mean, I think it's still a tragedy. Oh, Jesus. Usually I'm the bitch.
Yeah, wow. I know. But like, if you think about it, like, she was high on cocaine, high on fentanyl, like created so much damage. I mean, of course I don't want anyone to like come out of a situation brain dead. Like that's not what I want. But at the same time, like it's really wild to me that we're completely glossing over. Like I don't want all of the good things in her life to like be diminished by this. But at the same time, like we have to be realistic here and actually talk about what happened. Like,
yeah, no, that was my public reaction. Paul, who our listeners will definitely know because he's been on our show a couple of times. But Paul was one who's like, "Oh my God, Anne Heche," and I was just like, I said the same thing. I was just like, I mean, it's sad that she is this before she was officially brain dead, I think. But I was like, I mean, she was the one who killed herself, basically, effectively. Yeah. But I think like not to divert the conversation.
Well, that was probably the most like assholey thing I have said on this show.
No, I think that's like actually one of the worst things I've ever heard you say, to be honest. But it's not even, I know what you mean. I think maybe if you would have said like, maybe it is a tragedy, but it's a tragedy with like baggage.
Well, here's the thing though. A tragedy is like when it's like unexpected and so sudden. And it's like, in this case, it's like, no, she was high on cocaine and fentanyl. Like, what did you kind of expect would come out of that scenario? You know what I mean?
Well, I think the thing that's kind of crazy is that like nobody's talking about like, why was she using like that?
Exactly.
Was she really depressed? What was going on in her life? Like that's, I think, what surprised me, where I'm like, wait, I feel like we normally like address these kinds of things, right? Like with celebrities. So I'm sure it will come out at some point. There will likely be a Netflix documentary because let's be real, we're kind of grasping at fucking straws now about her life and how she died. But I just think, like it's kind of weird how we're focusing on everything but what happened.
Yeah.
And that's just not very common in this world.
Because I feel like everybody wants to see the worst in people. Like, I hate to say this, but especially around celebrity culture too. I think it's like always like what went wrong? What was the worst thing?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's just because like she was like a gay icon and, it doesn't resonate with me because, on the spectrum, I'm heterosexual, right? But like, I may not be as familiar.
Maddie.
I may not be as familiar with like how much of an icon she
You can
is.
just say you're straight. You can be like, I'm straight. That's okay to say.
Yeah, I mean, I was just, my brain just came out with that sentence. It wasn't like I was trying to avoid saying that I'm straight.
Okay. Well, we're gonna, don't worry guys, in season 2, there will be none of that bullshit.
I'm straight. Are you happy? Bullshit. Like, I don't, what's the difference between the two? I'm over here like confused.
That was like so.
Oh my God.
I don't know. God. I don't know. Something about
Stop judging me for how my brain thinks of things. God.
I was just like, okay, sorry. Okay, so yes, maybe she's not your icon.
So maybe like I just don't understand her culture, like her cultural impact,
relevance.
Right? yeah, exactly. Her like cultural impact and relevance. Probably that's why. But like how much good she did. Like I had no idea that she dated Ellen DeGeneres until I read about it, and I was like, oh, interesting. I only know her because, like I said, one of my favorite movies growing up was Volcano with Tommy Lee Jones and Anne Heche. So that was it.
Yeah, I mean, I only know her from that one movie that I mentioned.
There you go.
I'm not even sure it's her, to be honest with you, but that's what I think of when I think of her. So we're going to go with it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, I just think we should just, I'm going to leave it with, hope that the family finds comfort, and, gets peace through these times, and knowing that Anne Heche too, in her death, is actually helping a lot of people who require organs, and organ transplants. So, I think that's a really beautiful way. Huh?
You brought that home real well. I'm really proud of you.
You're welcome. Thanks. I'm trying.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So Maddie straight, Anne Heche doing a great thing for the world. So, okay. What's our next story?
So this one is interesting. Not like our usual headline that we'd bring up, but I thought it was funny. As you know, the state of the world as it is has been pretty rough for a lot of people, especially in the corporate world. And there have been so many layoffs going on. Mm-hmm. And this headline is pretty funny. So apparently the CEO is going viral on LinkedIn for posting a selfie while crying after laying people off. And like the reactions to this have been wild. And I thought we should bring it up because I'm seeing it all over TikTok. I'm seeing it on Twitter. I'm seeing it on Instagram. People are like, why? Why, sir? And for context, this is the CEO. His name is Brandon. I'm going to probably butcher his last name. Wallake. I don't know. And he basically is CEO of a marketing firm called Hyper Social. And he made this post talking about how sad he was about laying people off. And he's been going back and forth about whether or not to post this. And it's literally a picture of him crying. And a lot of people are pissed off about it. And I'm kind of in the middle because, I like to play devil's advocate a lot of times, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on this.
So I think that he also came out and said, and I quote, "If I can help one other business owner, one other CEO to not feel that they're alone in this journey and they can feel support by seeing somebody else do it." That was the point of the post.
I can't.
What? Like, that meme of that guy that's like this? That's how I feel right now.
Yeah.
I just like, a homeboy had way too many margaritas that night because what? Like, you think anybody fucking feels bad for the CEOs in any layoff situation? In any layoff situation. I think that's absolutely out of control. Look, I think that a lot of business owners, both large and small, and maybe you're not a business owner, but you're a leader of an organization. Do I think that they're like being faced with very difficult situation or decisions right now? Absolutely. Do I envy 100%. Them? No, I don't envy them. But at the same time, like, do I think that I would rather work for a company that is going to make a financially sound decision? Yes, as long as I'm employed. No, I'm joking. No, it's also, it's awful, but
I really hate to say this, but like as a CEO, shouldn't there be like a level of EQ that you should have that you could read the room, AKA like the collective vibe of like how folks are feeling like in the world? Like, what made you think taking the time to formulate this? And I'm pretty sure, 100% sure that this person probably sat there, wrote this, then like decided to like rewrite it, like created multiple versions, right? Saved the multiple versions. And then decided to take this photo while he was in tears. I wonder if it was some Vaseline. I don't know. Who knows? And then proceeded to take the time to post it. Like, you sat there thinking, okay, I'm going to say it like this because this is how people are going to interpret it. Like, as a CEO, I would hope with some level of EQ. Was there no little voice in your head that said, shut the fuck up and just keep on chugging along?
I'm inclined to think that this guy was definitely like drunk or something like that, because he said that he did it at like 3:00 in the morning, number one. And number two, he's also the CEO of a marketing company. It's literally his job to like understand public perception. And I know it's not PR, but like same, right? Or there is like an element of like, he should understand everything that you're saying right now. EQ, he should understand like, how would this be received in today's climate and all these things. So yeah, no, he's like a fucking moron. And I bet you that he's going to end up in a much worse situation, because I would wonder if a lot of his clients, sounds like he's like an agency. I wonder if a lot of those clients are going to drop him.
Yeah, I mean, because like it's very tone deaf. You know what I mean? Like, I understand the sentiment that he was trying to achieve, but
yeah,
he did it in an awful fucking way. And I think, yeah, this one would have been better if you just shut the fuck up and didn't say anything at all.
Yeah.
I think what's really interesting is like people's tweets in response to this that like cracked me up. And the one that really got me was, my question is, how many crying selfie pics did that CEO take before he picked one to post? How many do you think he did? Like, let's make this a little bet.
I mean, it was definitely like at least 25. I also have a real problem with people who post pictures and videos of themselves crying on the internet. I just like,
I mean, I think also because like you and I are uncomfortable with emotion in that capacity.
No, I also just think that like you are literally I just think that you're probably a very sad person, that like the only way that you can find solace maybe in whatever the situation or comfort is, like maybe getting support from random people on the internet. No, I just think that it's like a self-serving come and pity me moment. And I just hate that.
Well, once again, to play devil's advocate, I think that there are ways in which people, especially people who may be like feeling really mentally unwell, that it's a way of like asking for help. I mean, I'm sure that there are alternative ways in which to ask for help. I know that. Is it like my way? Does it make me uncomfortable? 100% it makes me uncomfortable.
To video yourself fucking crying and then be like, oh, let me press post now. Sorry. You're not actually sad.
Well, maybe they want to share their experience with the world. In this case, though, I have no sympathy for this asshole. I'm going to just say it.
All right. Before I get canceled, let's move on.
Before you get canceled.
Brandon,
anyway,
so, Brandon.
Bad.
You
move,
are
bro.
not going to be our first call for PR when we're ready for it.
Fuck no. Okay, next one. This is a pretty big one.
Yes.
Everyone knows on the podcast that we're very big Britney Spears fans. We, love seeing our girl thriving, living her best life, getting married, getting her freedom. Apparently, though, this week, Britney Spears and Kevin Federline have had a full-on, very, very, very public feud related to her children. And Alina, I think you probably have a better grasp of the timeline of things, so I'll let you go.
Yeah. So basically, I think Kevin Federline, so everyone knows that Britney's sons decided not to attend her wedding to Sam Asghari. Was that like 2 months ago now?
I think
they
so.
opted not to.
And also, context, Kevin Federline is Britney Spears' ex, just for those who may not know. Sorry. In case somebody doesn't know, I don't know. I just want to provide context.
Okay, fine. So basically her sons were not in attendance for her wedding. And I think like in general, there hasn't been any interaction between them to the public's knowledge. Right. So, Kevin came out and said that Britney and the boys are like not speaking at the moment, and that they've chosen to not spend time with their mother. It was their decision not to attend the wedding. And then I think Britney came back. I don't remember what exactly she said. But I know that Sam also like came to her defense on his Instagram and was like, hey, like, oh, keep my wife's name out your mouth. Right. So he decided that he was going to take a page out of Will Smith's book, literally. And so now there's a feud going back and forth between Kevin, Britney, and then of course, Sam. So Kevin's response, of course, was to publicly post a couple of videos of her kids when they were, I think he said 11 and 12 years old, and they were arguing with Britney Spears, and it obviously doesn't paint her in the best light. He posted saying that he made this decision with the boys as a family to release this so that the kids were not kind of painted in a light that isn't true or whatever. So there's just like, there's a lot of kind of nastiness going back and forth. Britney's lawyers have gotten involved, and they are just kind of defending the fact that like this is her privacy. You know, she's obviously saying I was under the conservatorship at that point. Like, you know, there's a lot of he said, she said. I wonder, you know, she doesn't deny that the kids decided not to come to her wedding. She doesn't deny that, you know, Kevin Federline has, I believe, full custody of the kids at this point.
Yeah. I think the conservatorship for sure, like, ruined the relationship she has with her kids, like 100%.
I mean, of course.
And, you know, there's a part of me that feels, I feel like Kevin just out of pocket once again for deciding to pick this feud and make it so fucking public. Considering that she's now kind of found some semblance of happiness and she's, you know, getting right. She's come out with an album. That's like in the works, which I was really excited to hear about. But at the same time, like, I also feel like the boys should be able to tell their story too. Like, I'm sure it wasn't easy on them either. And they probably had like trauma, and there's probably going to be a lot of dirt that comes out about Britney once they become of age, and they're probably going to want to monetize off of it. Like, let's just be real, considering like what Hollywood is like and what the precedent has been in the past. I feel bad for Britney because it feels like ever since she's gotten free, it's been like one thing after another after another. Like, it's like her father's still coming at her. Like her ex like decided to crash her wedding day if her kids didn't come. Now it's like her ex and her are like going at it, and her dad still won't leave her alone. And it feels like all of these elements that it's just like a storm that just keeps constantly pummeling her.
Yeah, I feel like she's still not necessarily in control of her life.
Yeah.
There's a conspiracy that she doesn't even know she has an Instagram account, that all of those photos of her, like the nude photos, were posted by, I believe it's her assistant and Sam. And I kind of feel like there might be some validity to all of this. Yeah, it's just like, it's so weird. I know that Kevin has said that part of the reason why the boys didn't attend the wedding is because they're embarrassed. And Britney has come out and said, like, the boys, when they come over to my house, you know, they don't even spend time with me. They walk in the door, they say hello, and then they go to their rooms, and then that's it. And she's like, look, teenagers are weird. And, you know, I think that her kids have also grown up in the public eye. There's been so much scrutiny about them. Their mom drove with one of them on her lap. The paparazzi almost killed her. Like, all the above. Like, these kids are probably so fucking traumatized. And I pray to God that they're in a lot of therapy. But yeah, I also, having had, you know, a 19-year-old living under my roof for a couple of months myself, like, from what I can tell, the teenage years are really fucking weird. They're weird. Yeah. Obviously, it wasn't my son, so there's a different relationship there. But like, I feel like I feel that, and I understand. Whereas like a couple of months ago, I may not have understood that as much as I think I do also, now. So
it's also like a new guy in their life too. Like, I feel like any child that, like, you know, is in the midst of like divorced parents, right? Yeah. When like their mom goes and marries someone new, there's probably tension around that as well, right? Like,
I know nothing about that at all.
At all. You have no experience with that whatsoever. Except you do. It's okay. Admit it on the podcast. Like, this podcast has been a form of therapy for us both in a lot of ways. So I think that there's definitely a piece, like an element of that here. But like, to your point, these kids are probably so traumatized and probably want to create some distance. But also, if you want to create some distance and don't want to continue to traumatize yourself, why are you saying that it's okay for your dad to like release these videos too?
But did they? I mean, do you actually think that they did?
No, I don't think they did.
I don't think so.
I also think, like, Kevin, why are you getting nasty? Why?
I think Kevin needs
what
to
do you
shut
have
the fuck
up and coming? I wonder, like, what he has up and coming in the pipeline that he feels like he needs to stir up this like PR around him.
I wonder if his like alimony payments are in jeopardy or something like that.
Ah, that's a good one.
Because
good one. I like that.
Britney, well, I'm assuming not if he has full custody of the kids, because then of course Britney does have to pay him for that. But I don't know. It's it doesn't really make sense, but because he's been pretty quiet, right? He's like, hey, I get my fucking payout, I get my alimony, I get my child support, we're good. But now suddenly he's like coming out, swinging his fist.
It's kind of interesting that you bring up this conspiracy theory, because I hadn't heard it yet, but it kind of like would make sense. Like she goes from one power structure to like another one where it's like you're in a marriage. And if you think of like traditional roles where it's like the woman is, under the control of the man of the house, right? So kind of interesting. Right. Like I wonder if that's probably the reason why there's like this level of tension, right? Where the kids may not be happy with seeing some sort of like weird power dynamics between Sam and Britney. Could be that too. Who knows?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, sorry, continue.
No, I was going to say, I would imagine that at some point the boys are going to, turn 18. They're 15 and 16 now, which is crazy. That makes me feel very old, but they're 15 and 16. At some point, they're definitely going to come out, and I'm sure that they will have their say. They're going to have their moment where they can share their, their truth, if you will. But I don't know what it is.
I think at the end of the day, though, like, as much as I hate all of this pummeling, like kind of here a little bit for the messiness.
What else would we talk about?
I think we all are at the end of the day. At the end of the day. But on to, I think, our next topic. I feel like I'm so surprised. This is like the only Kardashian family update that we have for the week. Just because I feel like a lot of the stuff that's been going on has been just so petty around them that like, I'm just going to go with like the biggest thing. And what's been interesting is it's been released that Khloe apparently is going to have sole legal and physical custody of their new baby son in whatever they've arranged with her ex, Tristan Thompson.
Yes. So when I saw this, I was just a little bit, I understand. I'm a little bit confused. I guess I'm not shocked, but also at the same time, like part of the reason why she chose to have another child with Tristan as opposed to a sperm donor was because of course, she wanted her children to be biologically related. But on top of that, because she said, Tristan is a great father. He may not be a good boyfriend, but he's a great father to True, blah, blah, blah. I wonder, obviously she paid him off, right? It was, hey, Tristan, you can be done with this. You can go live your life and do what you need to do. You don't have to be in the public eye as much. I don't
think he needs to be paid off. I think you're giving too much credit to Tristan. I don't think he needs to be paid off. She probably gave him an out like, yo, I'm going to take like sole custody of this kid. That cool with you? He's like, yep, one less mouth I got to worry about. Like that was probably what he did. I mean, look at how he treated his first kid with the woman that he was with before Khloe. And then look at how he's dealing with, what's her name? The new baby mama.
Marilee
Nichols. Like, come on. Yeah. You're giving too much credit to this guy. Like, let's be honest. He probably was like, oh, thank God for the out.
But Maddie, Marilee, and the first baby mama, we don't even know her fucking name. They don't keep his name in the papers. They don't get him interviews. They don't get him publicity the way that she does.
But I think he's gotten enough publicity as is. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that there's anything else that can be added to this.
Yeah, but I also feel like
he got what he wanted.
But people are so fucking money hungry. My second question is he going to continue to be in the life of True? I don't know how you remove that. That's the other
thing that's weird.
Yeah, I don't know how you...
Why would you... Like, why? That's so strange.
The thing that's weird about it, right? Because I would imagine, and I kind of hope that she doesn't now remove her father from her life just because, she's older. She's old enough to have a good relationship with him. And, we've seen them and it looks like he's a good dad and he loves her. But the thing that's crazy to me is like, when the kid asks, who's my dad? And then you say it's Tristan. And then he finds out that his sister has a relationship with Tristan. I mean, I guess that weird. Theoretically, Khloe can grant him visitation rights, but he can't say, he doesn't get 50% or whatever it is. Like, but I still just, how do you not have the same arrangement for both children that were fathered by the same guy? That's what doesn't make sense to me. And so that's why I'm wondering if like, maybe there was some kind of like, this was a deal.
He was the sperm donor for the second one, while like the first one, it was like an active relationship. But I do agree with you. It is kind of fucking weird. Like, could you imagine literally True is going for the weekend to see her dad and their second child is just going to be chilling with Khloe.
Exactly. Right. That's the thing that I don't understand, because it's like these kids are going to grow up fucked up, right? Anyway, just due to the nature of everything. I mean, then there's also just the fact that like these kids are just spoiled, entitled brats, if you ask me. And like, good for them, right? Good for you to be able to give your children this life, but also like, good luck with that when they're fucking 15. Good luck with Stormy when she's 15. You're planning her sweet 16. But I feel like that is just going to, I mean, so if you say, oh, it was a sperm donor, you know, mommy had you via surrogate, it was a sperm donor. And then the kid's like, okay, I'm going to do research. I'm going to do a 23andMe test, whatever it is.
I mean, he doesn't even need to do it because it's like all public information on Google.
Well, yeah, that too. Exactly. He just Google himself. But you know what I'm saying, right? Like, let's just say that the kid's like, cool, well, then I'm going to either Google myself or I'm going to like,
someone at school is probably going to like yell at him, be like, oh, your daddy doesn't love you. You know what I mean? Like shit like that. Like, let's be real. Kids are fucking mean.
Yeah. But how do you do that, right? How do you, so
I don't know.
I'm inclined to think that she must have full custody of True as well. Doesn't make sense otherwise.
I don't know. Actually, what are the legal, the legal structure on that for True? Oh, that could mean a whole plethora of things. Oh, that's interesting. I think we should like go back, research this and see. I want to know now. Oh my God. Hold on. Does Khloe have full custody?
I don't think she does.
Oh my God. She does have full custody of their baby daughter.
Oh,
wait a minute.
Okay. Well, then my entire argument just went to shit.
Wait a minute. So this article came out in 2018.
Okay. My God, 2018 times were so simple. The biggest concern we had was that Khloe was being cheated on in labor. Cool.
Oh my God.
Great.
Reports have her gearing up for a major custody who want to custody. There's one thing Khloe's going custody. She already got sole custody of their baby daughter, True Thompson.
Oh, okay, fine. Then this makes sense. I still think that
that's because, hold on. There's a technicality here. And that's because she gave birth to True, as you know, in Ohio, in Cleveland. And according to Ohio's child custody laws, she has currently sole legal and residential custody of her daughter upon birth because, according to Ohio law, if the parents are unmarried when the child is born, the mother has sole custody.
I wonder if she did that and gave birth in Ohio for that reason.
I wonder. So Tristan, so I don't know what's going on beyond that or like what has happened beyond that. But according to the article, Tristan must file with the court to establish paternity, custody, shared parenting, and or visitation rights, which would also make him an equal legal guardian. It's unclear if he ever filed to be a legal guardian to obtain equal rights. So he probably never filed it.
No, I mean, good for her. Well,
okay, well,
then it makes sense.
You heard it here first, y'all. Khloe already has full custody of True. So
it just makes sense.
I guess at the end of the day, it makes sense.
Okay, fine.
Damn.
I feel better about that for the kids, but now I'm like, shit, I just spent 35 minutes fucking going off on something that didn't even make sense. But okay. What's next?
Okay. So next one, I know you're a big Stranger Things fan, correct?
Mm-hmm. Don't tell anyone.
Except we just told everyone on the podcast, but yeah, totally. I won't tell anyone. Shh, don't say anything. So Millie Bobby Brown has apparently come out and said that she's healing after she was publicly humiliated by a TikTok creator. And for those who don't know, Millie Bobby Brown plays the famous character 11 on Stranger Things. And according to this story, which I thought was interesting because I had no idea that she had been dating this person, she was in an unhealthy situation with this guy named, what was his name? Ekmovic? I think it was Hunter Ekmovic. It's a TikTok personality. They were dating back in 2020. They ended up like cutting ties in January of 2021. And apparently he had said in the summer of 2021, after they broke up, basically claiming that they had a sexual relationship when she was a minor and that he groomed her, which I was like, whoa. Also, why do you feel comfortable with the internet that you could just like say that without any repercussions? That's interesting. And so Millie
You
Bobby
mean
Brown
repercussions for him?
Yeah, repercussions for him.
Okay.
Like to say that you groomed someone and that you had sex with a minor, like, dude, what? And so apparently it was due to that incident that she like basically removed all of her social media. And I guess her Twitter and Instagram are run by her team, not run by her. She has no social media access. The only thing that she has is her blog, and people can't comment on it. And that was because she decided to focus, like she said, on her own healing and remove herself from social media, which I can understand because people are cruel and mean. And fuck this Hunter guy for making her feel that way. But also, like, once again, I just don't understand what the logic was there. Like, you really thought you were smart by saying that you groomed a minor? Get the fuck out of here, you piece of shit.
So
anyway, I digress.
I don't know who the fuck this guy is, and this is one of the reasons why I hate TikTok, but because I feel like it empowers people. I don't know if it's like just, the fact that I was already a little bit suspect of TikTok. And then like, I've seen just how mean people can be. And then on top of it, we did an episode on the most hated man on the internet. And I feel like he kind of created this entire culture where it was suddenly okay to troll people and to be an absolute piece of shit to someone else and like to exploit people's emotions and feelings and all these things. So I don't know. I just feel like my tolerance for this it was already pretty low and it's like real low now. But, this whole thing, like, I mean, he's just stupid. He's just so dumb. Like, does he not realize that that's illegal?
I know.
Like,
that's
my question
I
is like,
don't understand.
Why doesn't she just press charges? She can, right?
Well, I think her lawyers did go after him. Or they mentioned that they did in order to get him to stop this kind of behavior. Probably a cease and desist is what they did. And I believe he stopped talking about it. But still, like, I don't know why people think that people have gotten way too comfortable with the internet where they feel like that they can say some like off-putting shit like that.
But I feel like there is a culture around like TikTokers that they fucking can and do. They say these stupid things. They behave in a way. Yeah, exactly. But they behave in a way that there's just like, oh, hi, I live in a world where there's no consequences at all. And I think that it's like up to other people to hold them accountable and not in a way that's just cancel culture. Like you actually have to hold people accountable for this shit. I don't know. It's just very strange to me. I feel like, it's just so ridiculous to me that this is a thing. And I feel like my brain can't even process it. But I mean, I'm glad that she feels like she's healed. I feel like they're, unfortunately part of being in that business, because I'm so familiar. But I do feel, and I know we've talked about this a lot with like Kim Kardashian and, stuff like that. Like, there is a level of, and it's awful because Millie Bobby Brown is young. I think she's like 18 now. So assuming, that this was when she's
literally a child star. You know what I mean? So like, I think that's what makes this weirder is because there's also been a lot of rumors and shit spread about her over the years in regards to grooming, because as you know, there was a relationship that she had with Drake, very friendly relationship, but people kind of took that and made it nasty. And there's always been something about her in the media where she's been like sexualized in that way. So I feel for the girl, but I'm also happy that she was just like, I can't do this. And like literally was like, my team have access to my accounts. I'm not fucking dealing with this shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, I mean, that's obviously really sad. One thing though, I do want to say, I know it's a little bit off topic, but Millie Bobby Brown is British. Is that not the weirdest thing you've ever fucking heard?
I know. Because every time she opens her mouth in an interview, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. You're fucking British. Forgot about that.
Yeah. She's also beautiful, but
yes.
At the same time, I'm not saying this is right. I'm not saying it's wrong. You know me, I'm pretty neutral, but also I feel like, when you're 14 years old and you're going to premieres and I feel like to a degree, when you wear a full fucking face of makeup with contouring and, you're wearing these couture gowns and stuff like that, like I'm not saying that she shouldn't have the right to do that, but I also think that like knowing that you're already in the public eye, knowing that people are the way they are, just maybe like think about that before you put yourself like, look, something I've learned in therapy, shout out to Debbie, had to do it, is
Debbie, a girl.
You cannot change other people, right? You can't change other people. You can't change other people's actions. And I'm not saying that was her reaction here, but like, what can you do in order to like kind of mitigate some of that, right?
Girl, when we're famous, like, and I mean like on and poppin' famous, literally everyone in my inner circle is signing an NDA. Like, there's no way in hell. No, because I mean, like, girl, like, you have to protect yourself. And I just think about these celebrities. You know, a lot of celebrities who do end up like hooking up with people, they have them sign NDAs.
Yes.
Like, it's very much a thing.
Which is so sad.
And
but
so
that they have to do that. Not that they do it, it's that they have to.
Exactly. So I'm just thinking, like, it's a way to protect yourself. She should, I mean, I hate to say it, but like, yeah, get an NDA. You have to protect yourself by all costs.
I'm not even talking about NDA. I'm just saying, like, hey, like, maybe like look like a 14-year-old girl. Maybe like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what I mean is, like, if you're gonna like, look, I think that it's like a really dangerous thing for a lot of these like young child stars to be like put in these situations where they're sexualized and even have the potential to be groomed and all the above. So it's like, hey, like, maybe act your age a little bit, and not just her. This is in general, right? This is like,
I mean, but it doesn't matter if there's someone who likes girls who are underage, like, yes, that's actually going to cater more to their style if she acts her age, or like,
I get it,
dressing as her age.
I get it. I'm not necessarily talking about this in particular. I'm saying when you sit here and you talk about being sexualized as a child.
Yeah.
And I'm not victim shaming for all you fuckers that are sitting here and are like, oh, she's victim shaming. No, that's not what's happening. What I'm saying is that as somebody who has a lot of expectations of people, and I'm often disappointed, I have learned that, like, what do you do? How do you control it? You fucking do what you need to do for yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
Should you be able to wear makeup and all these things? Absolutely. But you have to understand what's on the other side of that if you choose to do that.
But I also don't know what she could have done. Because you know what I mean? Because, like, you mentioned victim shaming, but it's like kind of crazy because no matter what she would have done, there would have been some kind of backlash or some kind of shit coming out about her. You know what I mean? Like, I also feels like it's a like, there's no way to win. It's like a lose-lose situation no matter what. And so even in my head, I'm like, what could she have done? You know, like, it seems,
again, I'm saying maybe
tough.
Like act a little bit more like a kid. And that's fine to fucking act like a kid. Like, if you look at photos of this girl, she looks like she's 25.
And then the pedophiles come out.
Oh my God. But I'm
saying,
seriously, but look, like, come on.
We live in a fucked up world, Alina.
Of course. Anyway, whatever. I think we need to move on. Cause again, I'm really, there might not be a season 2 after this episode because I'm going to end up getting canceled. So we have one more story. Thanks for bearing with us. I know it's been a lot, but
it has
been, take it away.
But I feel like this has been good. I feel like this has been the most lively one that we've done, where we're literally at each other's throats to a degree.
And if you're fucking wondering why we're taking a break,
what are you trying to say, Alina?
No, we're not at each other's throats. I'm just saying I'm at risk for getting myself canceled because I'm not being very intentional about what I'm saying, which is not good.
No, it's you're not going to get canceled. That's the thing. Okay. You can't. You're not allowed to. Okay, so last article. This is an interesting one. The biggest bombshells from Jennette McCurdy's memoir, I'm Glad My Mom Died. First off, Jennette McCurdy is also a child actress who was on iCarly, and then I think it was Sam and Cat on Nickelodeon. That's how I know her. Lots of other people know her. Secondly, I absolutely love this fucking title of a book. Like, can you imagine? I'm Glad My Mom Died. Like, no. God damn. Like, if that tells you anything, like, it screams to me, my mom fucked me up trauma-wise. Come and enjoy this book. like, I'm glad my mom died. I'm glad my mom died. Like, when I saw that title of that book, I literally screamed. I was like, I mean, there are people out there who hate their moms. I get it. 100% get it. But like, to literally list your memoir, to like have the title be, I'm glad my mom died. Like, I need that to sink in. Like, the level of vitriol. Like, God damn.
Who was his editor that was like, great idea? Yes.
That's fantastic. We'll be selling so many of these off the shelf. So for context for listeners, this book is Jennette McCurdy's essentially memoir, where she kind of talks about the abuse that she had. Her mom had breast cancer. Her mom also apparently survived it the first round, but guilted the shit out of her kids in the sense that she would play them home videos of when she was telling them about her cancer. And then she would go in and analyze their behaviors in front of them as this video is playing and being like, look, Jennette, like you didn't cry enough or you didn't have a reaction about it. And making them feel awful that they apparently didn't care enough that she had cancer. On top of that, she would shower the children up into their teenage years. She also recounted memories of when she had to shower with her 16-year-old brother because her mom needed to clean them. She also recounted how her mom forced herself in moving in with her. She was also the one who forced her to become an actress, forced her to essentially develop an eating disorder, watched what she ate. I mean, honestly, a lot of the snippets that I've seen of this memoir is kind of horrifying. She had a wonderful relationship with Miranda Cosgrove. Apparently she had beef with Ariana Grande when they did Sam and Cat. I just have to say this is probably one of the more fucked up childhood trauma stories that I've read from celebrity culture. And there are a lot out there, mind you. But I thought this was excessive.
Yeah, I don't even know where to start with this because there's a lot. Well, I guess I can start with, I don't know who the hell Jennette McCurdy is. Let's just start with that. So again, no allegiance to this person.
Did you not watch Nickelodeon as a kid?
No, of course I did, but I'm a little older than you. And
I mean, I think it was because of Ami, because Ami is 5.5 for listeners. Ami's my little brother. He's 5.5 years younger than me. So like when he was growing up, I would have to sit and watch shit with him. So that's probably why I know of her.
Got it. Yeah. Because like, I feel like the iCarly, like I Nickelodeon for me was like all that and like the Amanda Show.
Rugrats.
Yes, exactly. We were the cartoons. We were not the Drake and Josh or Miranda or Hannah Montana. Like, no. I'm older.
Hannah Montana
that, so.
was Disney. Thank you very much.
See, exactly. There you go. But so I don't know who this girl is. I mean, this sounds pretty, it sounds real bad. I don't know.
It's awful.
I don't even know.
You don't even know where to start. Her mom
No.
apparently would do breast and butt exams on her children up until they left the house to check if they had any lumps or growths. She would shower them.
So was she a pedophile or was she like?
No, this is what I mean by like this like story is like borderline like I don't. It's just like borderline because it's like you feel really uncomfortable because like it's like borderline sexual assault, right? But at the same time, it's like, was her mother just like overly excessively scared because of her own breast cancer? But also, why would you be checking their butts too? Like when I tell you, I could understand why she titled the book "I'm Glad My Mom Died" as I was reading these bullet points. It was horrifying.
Yeah. I don't know. I like really just don't know what to say. I don't like it. And I feel awful for her. And again, you know, it sounds like she's on her way to dealing with it and hopefully, you know, getting through. What do you say?
I don't know. There is another interesting aspect of this for Jennette McCurdy is that she, in the book details how there was this guy called the Creator who was like, I guess some producer, some big shot behind scenes. And this person, I guess had like done some inappropriate stuff, had tried to force her to drink, and at some point told her, or like Nickelodeon as a whole, because he got into trouble and he had to basically be closed off from being on set, which makes fucking sense considering what she detailed in the memoir. But she said that apparently Nickelodeon, as like a thank you, offered her $300,000, which really was a payoff for her to keep quiet.
Oh, that's
about
hush money.
Behaviors on set. Oh, 100%.
Yeah, that's hush money.
But it just got me thinking, and I think we should probably do an episode about this in season 2 around really child actors and like sort of the bullshit that they had to deal with, because in all honesty, like this isn't the first that we're hearing of a child actor who's gone through some pretty horrifying things on set.
No.
Like you had Drew Barrymore, you had Hannah Montana, definitely, not Hannah Montana, what's her name? My God, what?
Miley Cyrus.
Miley Cyrus. You have so many celebrities who've come out and talked about the like abuse and like mishandling of them on set and all the crazy shit they've had to deal with. So I'd love to dig into actual like stories and then talking about how it probably affected their development.
I love it. Should we write this down?
Yeah.
Do I have
put it on your whiteboard?
I'm trying.
Whiteboard.
I know I'm trying. I'm trying to find my whiteboard marker. Hold on.
Oh my God. Well, while Alina does that, I'm actually really excited to get my hands on this book and to read the full thing. I've only read snippets and I think it's fascinating. I wish her the best. I think this is like an awesome way to take your traumas and find a way to monetize it. Cause I mean, fuck, if you could like write a book about like how fucked up your trauma was and get cash money out of it, why not? Hashtag here for it, honestly.
Maybe it was healing.
Oh, 100%. It was probably therapeutic for sure. But yeah, I think that's I want to end on a more positive note about her story. Cause I mean, if you think about it, like her mom died. She has healed. She has found the ability to like share her story. And I think that that's like a really beautiful thing. And I hope that, she finds success with this memoir and that, her career continues to grow and develop. And I think that's our last story for BBQs this week, y'all.
You know us, just always keeping it nice and light here on the Basic in the Brain. But no, really, thank you all so much. This has been quite a ride. A year later, yes, we are so excited to come back. I just look for those of you. Oh, hold on. I had to break things. Oh, I was touching my laptop and then it's right there.
It's on the whiteboard.
On the whiteboard. It's official. We will get working on that ASAP. But again, thank you all so much for your support. And if there's anything you want to hear about, if there are any topics that you think would be great for us to cover, please, you have all of our socials. Let us know. And I think with that, we will bid you all adieu.
Yeah, we'll see y'all in 8 weeks. Bye.